Hey ladies, my name is Rachel Clark, and Alicia had asked me if I would come to you guys and give you some ideas or some tips, tell you how I've kind of found some success in my business with Agnes and Dora. So I am just going to tell you a little bit about myself because I don't think I know a lot of you. So my name is Rachel Clark, and I have been a rep with Agnes and Dora since April of last year. So over a year and a half. And I'll tell you how I got started. I have never ever been in any type of other sales company. I've never done any type of direct sales. I've never worked at a store where I've had to do any type of sales. So this was all completely new to me. I know we've heard from some reps who have come from other companies and had some sales background, but for me, this was an entirely new venture. So I started with a group of 0. I had no idea what I was doing when I started. A girlfriend and I actually were looking at signing up to sell another company, and I happened to find Agnes and Dora, and I got a pair of the leggings, and I love the prints, and I thought, this is more for me. So when it was came time to sign up, my friend just couldn't financially commit to doing this. So I decided to do it by myself, which at this point now I'm just thankful that I did, because I worry that it would have been such a struggle to share a business partnership like this, and she lives about 2 hours from me, so that would have been hard. So this really worked out, and I got my kit last year in April, and I had no clue what to do. My referring rep had signed up to sell Agnes and Dora literally like 2 weeks before I did. And about 2 weeks after I started, she decided that she was going to take a break. So I had zero help, nobody to ask help to. At that time, we did reference the main rep group quite a bit, and we would pop questions up there and that kind of thing. But for the most part, I kind of watched what other people did. I just figured it out as I went. Times were different. I think I was like rep number 170, 170-ish. And growing my group was a little bit easier, I think, than it is now, which I know is what some people struggle with. How do we grow our groups at this point when there are so many reps and there are so many groups out there? Like, how do I stand out and how do I look different? Back then, it was easier because people were kind of on the hunt for groups. So it was a little bit of a different idea, but still at this point, it's taken me a year and a half, and I've built my group from 0 to just over 3,000. But it's taken a lot of time and a lot of effort and a lot of like being creative, especially now, because I too, I'm like, how do I get new people in here? So I know that we've heard some other tips from some of the other reps who have done the talks about how to network and how to find groups and or how to find new members, and those are all certainly good ideas. Something that came to mind when I was thinking about this was one of my first online hostess parties. And I do my hostess parties in a private event page. I've never ran them for my group, just because I always had this idea that like I don't want to pay hostess credits on my regular shoppers who are shopping in here, and I want to give them a special environment where I can focus on their particular needs or their wants, what they're looking for, where they can kind of chit chat as girlfriends with each other, and not be in a group with 1,000 or 2,000 or 3,000 other people for that party. So it makes it feel a little more intimate and exclusive, I think. So I've always ran them in an event page. But I think about my first online hostess event, which I've never like pushed or offered up doing these hostess events. I've had people come to me and ask, okay, will you host a party, or can I host a party? Do you do that? And so that one party, was not that successful. I think I sold like $350, which isn't bad, don't get me wrong, but it wasn't compared to like what my normal sales volume was in a day or for an in-person party or that type of thing. So I was a little discouraged. But now, a year and a half later, or nearly a year and a half since that party, every time I have this customer, Kendra, that orders for me, every time I think about that Kendra came from that party. Kendra came from my very first party where I felt like the sales weren't really that great, and I think even the hostess didn't buy anything. I think she got a free pair of leggings at that time was my giveaway for hosting, and she got a free pair of leggings. That was it. She didn't buy anything. So I was really discouraged. Like, what did I do wrong? How am I going to get these people to buy? But Kendra has stuck with me for a year and a half. She is a regular shopper, like weekly, bi-weekly, minimum once a month shopper. She buys for her sister. Her sisters know my group and she shops. They have several friends that shop. And I just, every time I go to package her stuff up, I think that Kendra came from my first party. And so it's amazing how that can grow. And so just keep in mind that you might have something that doesn't seem like a super huge success, or you might do an in-person vendor event and it doesn't seem like a super success, but one person can become a revolving repeat customer, and so it's never a waste of your time. Some things that I wanted to tell you about. So let's see. Starting with that, I have no history with sales, so this is all entirely a new area for me. I live in Michigan, so I believe I was the first Michigan rep. And so this was new to our area. This concept was new. LuLaRoe was known around here, but it certainly wasn't popular because really like a month before I joined Agnes and Dora, I had just heard about LuLaRoe. So it wasn't like this was a huge thing in our area either. So for me, like even building here, this is a new concept. Like people are like, "What do you mean you sell clothes out of your home?" I don't get that. So I really was like building fresh. So it's possible to do without having some sort of history or without having a group with a few thousand people in it to begin with. You can do it. Now I get that it's hard. And like I said, some of the other reps did touch on how you new ways that you can network. So I'm not going to go really far into that. But certainly word of mouth, people getting your customers to tell their friends, to share the Agnes and Dora love, what they love about their clothing that they get from you is really going to be huge. I do multi-rep sales. I don't do a lot of them anymore. I've kind of found that my group sales are enough to keep me kind of going. I more do them because I think that it's fun for my group. And that it's just something different to change it up. It's something that I can consistently plan on that keeps a little bit more to my group than just my group looking at pictures of me all the time, sharing selfies, or me doing the same type of flat lays and trying to change them up. So I do multi-rep sales, and they've really been beneficial. I think that I know that, or being in other reps groups, yes, I am selling to customers who already know and love Agnes and Dora, but what easier people to sell to are those that love Agnes and Dora. And one thing that I always tried to focus on was giving fantastic customer service. So even though they've bought Agnes and Dora before, maybe they didn't have great experiences. Maybe they didn't have somebody who shipped so quick, or they weren't really happy with an exchange or return policy. Now, I don't want to say that, that reps aren't good at that, but something I always focused on was really excelling in those areas, really trying to set myself apart, and not set myself apart like I'm competing, but in a sense, I am. Like, I want them to remember me. I want them to say, like, wow, I got my stuff fast, or wow, she packaged this nice, or when I had to reach out and ask a question, she responded quickly and she had good answers. So that for me has been huge. I will tell you, and not to like toot my horn, because that's not what this is about. I'm just telling you what I found works and why. One thing that I have asked my customers before, I'll do just like engagement posts and like, tell me something you love about Agnes and Dora. And the amount of people who said that what they liked about it was my customer service, was that they could reach out to me and I would respond, that I put a thank you note in their package, that they got a handwritten note, that I answer their questions, that I interact with my group. Those were all things that people had said. And while I was stunned because I didn't realize what type of impact that really does have. So I think it is so important that we focus on giving good customer service and being speedy with our response times and that type of thing. Now, I get that we all have lives outside of this as well. You know, we have families, we have other jobs. I'll tell you that too. I have another job, a full time job throughout the week. So this is like a second gig for me. Like I had said, when I started doing this, I had thought like that this would just be something to maybe pay my charter bill. I never, ever, ever anticipated that it would become so big and that it would become so time consuming and so much work. And something that I still really need to focus on and work on is my ability to do time manage, to not let this take over all of my time, because it certainly can. And I have been on days where I'm like, where's the day gone? And I've spent the whole day, you know, responding to messages and chit chatting with customers, which I love to do. But before you know it, your day is gone and you've accomplished nothing. Your kids are still in their pajamas, and you don't have any plans for dinner. And it just becomes where it's overwhelming. So time management is huge. Setting up your calendar for the day, saying these are the tasks that I need to do, this is what time I want to be done by, is very, very, very important. And I am a terrible example in this area, but I see the importance of it, and I, along with you, will work to to do this better. Because for me, it is one area that I am so bad at. I've always said when I do something, like, I put 100% into it. And to me, like, having a customer wait 2 hours for a response, I'm like, oh my gosh, she's never going to shop with me again. Like, this isn't going to be okay. She had to wait 2 hours. Like, she had to wait 2 hours. You know, I mean, sometimes I have to be like, reality check. You know, this is not the end of the world. But for me, I get so worked up and worried about those things that I just can't stop. So that is one thing, like, to try to really manage your time, stay grounded, be on a schedule, know that this is not your world, that you have other things to focus on. But for me, I would tell you, like, it is, um, it's very time consuming, but it's very rewarding. I do love doing this, and I love the relationships that I've built with reps and with customers. So it brings me so much joy to spend time doing this. Let's see. So I live in Michigan. And with living in Michigan, I get my shipments like 7 to 10 days after launch, like 7 to 10 business days after launch. Sometimes like Thursday or Friday the week after. And I personally cannot wrap my mind around paying 3-day shipping. Like, it is just astronomical, in my opinion, to pay those prices to get my items a few days before they would normally come for a fraction of the cost. So I have never, ever, ever done 3-day shipping. I do not have a large team. If you guys will notice from the Sales Stars emails, I am on the rep paying side, because I have another job and because I have 3 kids and a husband and a house to maintain, and the business side of this, selling and packaging and shipping and being a business owner, for me, could not focus on building a team. Like, for me, my passion is in my customers and in selling Agnes and Dora. I do have a team, and I sometimes feel as though I neglect them. Sorry, guys. Because I can't focus on everything. I just do not have enough time in the day to manage everything. If my team has questions, I am there to answer for them, but building a team was not, for me, something that I felt like I could personally handle with everything else that I have going on. So I don't have a huge team. So I pay for my I pay for my inventory. And I just cannot get the idea of paying 3-day shipping. So anyways, the point being, I get my stuff late. Like, probably one of the latest to get my things, and it has never negatively affected my sales. I have about a 2,000 piece inventory, as you can see behind me. I have never ever destashed. I have never sold off a run of something. I have helped out reps, so I can't say that I've never sold something to a rep and not a customer. You know, I've helped out reps when they were in search of something, but I have never offloaded any of my inventory. So with that being said, I just mean I am not drowning here in old inventory or in inventory that I can't sell because I get it later than other reps do. I feel like we so often use things as excuses for why we maybe aren't doing as well as we would like. Not that you aren't doing well because it's your fault, you know, not that you are doing something necessarily wrong, but this is just, it takes time. It takes time to build. It takes experience. It takes trial and error. It takes a lot to get to a point where you're really comfortable. So I think that we use excuses like our shipping. It takes too long to get here, and other reps have things before I do. And how can I sell what they sold 2 days ago? Like, my people aren't going to buy it when they've seen it elsewhere 2 days ago. I've just found that that really is not true, and that does not happen. I do get messages from my customers, you know, are you getting this? And I'm like, darn it, they saw it before. They saw it before I could get it here, and now I have people requesting things before I have it. I've never ever done pre-sales. I have never you know, shop the site with customers. I don't do that. What I get is what I get, and I sell it once it's in my hands. So I'm just trying to tell you that, you know, some of the things that we like to use as excuses or blame some of our lack of growth on might not really be excuses, or might not really be legitimate excuses. I get frustrations. Trust me. Like, I get it. If I could have my stuff the day after a launch, I would be stoked. But I also have to be business smart as well. And to me, spending so much more on shipping in a month is just not worth it. Would not worth it, especially when I have seen consistently that my group still buys, even though it's 7 days or 10 days after a launch and 5 or 7 days after somebody else has the stuff. Like, they know that it's coming. Let's see. Kind of talked about customer service, time management. This is not something that you will build overnight. And I just, like, I say that, and I know I said it a minute ago. This is something that is going to take time and experience and trial and error. And what might work for me might not work for you. And it is important that we realize that. Doesn't mean that you're a failure. Doesn't mean that you can't do well at this. But what procedures or what my group likes might not flow for you. It might not come natural to you. I just started last month doing live videos. That is never something that I've done. I wanted to do a live with you guys for this, but I realized that tomorrow I have a doctor's appointment with one of my kids, and I have customers coming to shop, and I just didn't know that I was going to have a window large enough to commit to doing this. So I decided I would pre-record it and post it. But I just started doing live videos in my group, and I did a live sale. My first one was a live sale, and it went better actually than I expected, but I was super, super nervous, and I didn't know. I mean, I've never been like recorded. I've never been on camera. And so I was like, I don't know how this is going to go. My nerves were through the roof. It was like the scariest day all day. I didn't know what I was going to face, but it went okay. And I survived, and my group survived, and they liked it. And so since I've done a couple things called like a styling guide, and I have where I took about 20 minutes and I just paired a few pieces, things that I was worried that they wouldn't really get to see the true value of, like the denim shirt dress. That was something that I know there was a lot of mixed feedback on, and I thought, you know what, if I show my group this, like what they can do with it, you know, pairing it with a belt, pairing it with a scarf, doing it in different ways, then they can see how great this dress is. And I sold several runs of it. I ended up having to go back and buy more. So that for me was beneficial. Even though I wasn't selling on that video, it took me 20 minutes. I gave my group some good styling got pieces on that. You know, I put it with a pullover, so that sold several pullovers, sold several combos. I then put the pullover like a love tunic, so that sold love tunics, and it literally took me 20 minutes. You might do one of these and you might decide this doesn't work for me, but it's worth a try. So that I just started doing these. So it takes time. It takes time to get yourself ready. It takes time to get your group ready. It all is a process. So I just think, like, don't get hard on yourself and set realistic goals. I am big into looking at where my sales numbers are at daily, sometimes several times a day. It's almost obsessive. But I know what my goal is for a month. You know, it started with what my goal is for the year, for the 12 calendar months. Then I broke it down into a month. Then I broke it down into what do I need to do daily? What do I need to sell daily to reach my monthly and then my year-end goal? And so I know what I need to do on a daily basis. And if that means, and if it's slow and slow moving and I'm not selling anything, and if that means that I need to put out 4 flat lays that day to help encourage, to help show more options, then I do it. Because my whole frame of mind is setting goals and reaching this goal. And if I can hit my goal today, then it'll help me, you know, I'll be more on track tomorrow. I won't have to be trying to make up for what I missed yesterday or whatever. So be goal oriented, set a plan and try to stick to it. Think about your time management. About that, it cut out. I had to go make a bottle because it's the middle of the night. And this is how poor I am at time management that I am recording this when everybody's sleeping. And I just was super busy today because I had to work. And then I got home and it was my little girl's first birthday. And then I had a live sale. And now I am doing this. So I just wanted to finish by saying that I hope you guys got something out of my video for you. And I know that it doesn't have like a secret or magic trick to this, that there isn't one thing that I can tell you that is going to make you sell and succeed and hit a certain number a month. Like, this is just a whole lot of trial and error, putting together different pieces of the puzzle, seeing what works for other people and if it might work for you. You know, I am still learning. I am still seeking out tips and tricks and trying to figure out how I can make this run more smoothly for myself. So I just hope that you aren't discouraged, that you can take the time and that you have the patience to put the time into this to figure out how you can make it work for you. I do realize that we aren't all the same, and that our goals are not all the same, and our purposes for doing this are not all the same. You know, my purpose when I started doing this was not to sell a certain amount and make enough money to provide for my family. And thankfully, from the gift of God, it has been significant, and it has certainly helped make life a little bit easier. And but that was never ever my original goal or my intention. And so it has all just felt like such a gigantic blessing. And it makes me even more grateful, I think, that this wasn't something that I had to do, but that it just kind of grew, and it grew as a passion. And I just couldn't be any more grateful that this has gone so well. So with that being said, I really hope that you guys got something out of this, and I hope that your businesses do thrive, and that you can find niches and things that do work for you and that help you to grow and help you to become very successful doing this. The opportunity is there, and it's all about putting in time and about keeping the right attitude. I know that when there are days that I get so wrapped up in what everybody else is doing, When I'm looking at other reps and I am seeing what is going on in the rep community, or when I'm letting myself get caught up in some of the negative aspects of this. Because let's face it, there are going to be little things that are negative, or things that we don't understand, or that we don't have all the information to, that are going to frustrate us or create a lot of chatter in the community. When I let myself get caught up in those things, like, I just notice that there is a difference in my attitude. There is a difference in my personal success for the day. And I know that I do not sell as well on those days as I do when I stay out of all of that ruckus, stay out of all the chatter, and just do what I am here to do. It saves me time, because I am not spending all this time researching and chatting and looking into things. It saves me time, and it saves me mental energy, and it really helps me just stay positive about why I'm here, what I am doing, focusing on my customers, focusing on my business, and succeeding at that. So it's a lot about your mentality, and just staying positive. So like I said, I hope that you all can get something out of this, even though I'm not giving you like the magic code as to how you can sell big, or how you can make your business succeed. But I hope that you can just find a little bit, maybe a little bit of drive in my success, that I have done well, and I started at zero. I started with nothing and grew this into this. So I just hope that you guys can get something out of that. And everybody have a happy Friday. Have a good weekend. Enjoy your families. Enjoy your time. Go sell to your groups. Do it. Do what it takes to make it, and to find your passion and to find your drive in this. So anyways, thank you guys for watching. Please feel free to post questions and comments on this video. I will come back and check them. Tag me in it if it seems like I'm not seeing something, or if you want to make sure that I do, because I will gladly come back and answer questions, or give any more tips that I can. Maybe I didn't focus in on something enough that you were hoping on. So certainly though, thank you guys for watching, and I hope that you have a good weekend. Bye.
Damage consuming, my shadows through me, 'cause fear in itself